Today we're going to build an hopefully awesome looking build because I'm so excited. We got a bunch of new parts that have never been used before. But first, all of this is going to be revolving around the... That was stupid to do it now, but all of this is going to revolve around this Montech 903 Air 903 Max. This is Montech's newest case, and in a all Montech fashion, we got three 140mm ARGB fans already included. We got another 140mm non-RGB fan in the back. This case is ready to go, no need to invest into more fans. And for today, we are going to build the best looking build possible because we still need some build to be on the table during the filming for the review itself. So let's do that. For the rest of the build, I wanted to reuse that new ASRock Z790 PG Riptide Wi-Fi, why not? Because we just got a 14500K still unopened for this build. So this motherboard is already preloaded with a BIOS that can support this one, unlike all my other motherboards, and I didn't want to go through the hassle to do a BIOS update just for a small little build. I'm going to do all of them, I need to do all of them, but for today this is going to do it. For the cooler I wanted to use the Be Quiet Darkrock Elite because it hasn't seen a real build from the inside yet, so I thought this is going to be perfect, and that way we are going to stay all air because this is a air case, and right now we just have black coloring and RGB. And on that note, we also just got a box of Corsair Vengeance RGB DDR5 RAM, 4 sticks, a total of 64 gigs running at 6600? Yeah, 6600 CL32. So far this is a good build. Now, no comment on the performance of a 14600K, I don't want to talk about that, but the overall build is going to be awesome. And then for the GPU we are going to go 4080 from Gainwood because it is again all black and it got that little bit of ARGB which is going to work great with the overall build. And as little cherry on top, SilverStone recently sent over a PSU called Hela. Oh my god, this is so funny. Okay, you won't get it now. I am naming my servers based on like some mythological bullshit. It's people do that. And my server is called, or the office server is called Hela. And SilverStone sent this over as part of the next server build that we are going to start like next week, or filming is beginning this week, but we are going to start, and they are providing us the case, like a 4U server case called like R43 something. It's like a 20 bay server case. It's going to be a great build, whole series revolving around it, but they sent over the server case, and they also sent over a PSU. Not necessarily to put into the server, but I thought I would do it because SilverStone case, SilverStone PSU will make sense. And I never realized that it's called Hela, just like my server right now is called Hela. How cool. I think I'm the only one who believes that's funny, but ignoring my dying humor, let's get to the build. Brand new, probably performing just fine, but nobody likes it. Oh no, nobody likes it is the wrong word. It's universally hated because there is nothing new about it. We are probably not going to do like a dedicated review on the 14 series of Intel. Not that I don't want to do it, but it has been covered extensively. And I don't see a reason to repeat what everybody else already said. So probably not. And for these RAM, I sincerely hope that they are working because I bought them reduced because somebody sent them back. And that's why I paid like $200 for the kit. And it was an offer, you know, they had one box, $200, take it or leave it. So I took it because I never, right now, I won't get DDR5 RAM at 6600 for that price tag. So I just hope that they are working fine. And on that note, we still have the sticker on all of them, so I kind of believe that they may have been like a return because somebody didn't know that he had DDR4 RAM and he got DDR5, so he returned this one. Well, that's what I hope. There is an SSD in here. What the hell? And there is another one in the top. Okay. Going back, putting this back together. Okay, so after the last build, I never removed the SSDs. Great job on my part, but this makes building this heck of a lot easier because that way I know that I have a preloaded Windows for the performance or for the temperature benchmarks. That's great. Great for me. I love that sound. You really gotta love it. But I can already see that we are heading into an issue with that Darkrock Elite, because you got like 33, 32 and a half, something like that, of RAM clearance on the right hand side. And I can already see that that's not going to play out, so I need to lift this fan, which is brutal, and then install it, and then I'm going to push it down as far as I can, but I'm not going to be able to push it down all the way, which is going to annoy me slightly, but what can you do? It's just how it is nowadays. And that way I'm also going to block half the ramp from being visible at all, which, great, yeah, that's a way of doing things. Ah, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this, ah, I hate this. Oh, I'm afraid. Okay, now it's just sitting on top of the RAM. That's how Be Quiet intended it to be. Wired and ready. And this is the lowest position. And it has like a slight overhang. Motherboard ready. Let's slap this into this, and at that point we are like 90% done. Great. A underappreciated aspect of working with Montech cases is the fact that they already come preloaded with fans. It makes stuff so much easier. Oh, we have an ARGB controller in the back, so maybe let's just disconnect this ARGB cable and we will route it to the back and connect it to the controller. But an underappreciated thing about working with Montech cases, because they come already preloaded with a bunch of fans, you don't need to install them. And not that installing fans is like an enormous hassle, but not doing it is even better. I appreciate that. I learned to appreciate that. This is starting to come together. Okay, where shall we continue? And I can already see like this cooler with elevated fan inside this case, that's maximum. The glass will fit, but you don't want to push it even one additional step up. That won't allow the tempered glass side panel to close at all. Whew, that was a close call. Let's have a look at what is inside of this PSU box. It's a fully modular power supply. So I'm going to use the least amount of cables possible, which is going to be 24 pin, one 8 pin for the motherboard, the NVIDIA or the PCIe 5 GPU plug, and one SATA that I need for the controller that is inside of the case. Well, this is small. For a 1200 watt platinum rated power supply, this is incredibly small. And you have a little switch that allows the fan to stop spinning after a certain degree, or below like a certain load. What do we have here? So, NVIDIA plug, definitely no. The one SATA that I need, I don't need that. EPS8, where is the 24 pin? And the 24 pin, that's all I need. Ta-da! Done. And not that many cables overall. Now, a small thing I have already changed about this case is the hard drive cage, which was sitting somewhere here, which I just blatantly removed because I'm not the biggest fan of hard drives. I won't use any anyway, so I already removed it. Nobody needs 4 PSU screws anyway. Now just let me do some of that cable magic that nobody wants to see. And with the power of editing, done. Cable managed. And not that bad in the back. You got a surprising amount of space inside this case. Now the last and final and most important step, GPU. That huge chunk of PCB that is somehow getting bigger every generation. Or not actually the PCB, there's the cooler getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And now, last and final cable, the non-octopus NVIDIA plug. I really need to stop saying NVIDIA plug, it's not NVIDIA plug. Ta-da! Finished! You know that feeling when even if you have already built hundreds and hundreds and you don't even think about it, and when you're doing it, it's just like a natural thing and it just flows? However, somehow you are still nervous every time you press that button for the very first time. Does it work? Did I break anything? Did I kill anything? No, I didn't. boy, this was a wild ride. What are the chances that I do a little speech about fluently building a PC and then being nervous about first booting it? How are the chances that I do this today? So no, the PC did not boot. Not only was it not booting, it was dead. Completely dead. It didn't want to boot. I had the CPU and DRAM light on. So I did the usual thing, reseating the cables, removing the RAM, booting it with 1 stick, 0 sticks, all 4 sticks over and over again. Then I tried reseating the cables on the PSU end. Then I tried reseating the cooler. I did the usual steps, removing the GPU, using the iGPU, everything that I could think of. I rechecked if the motherboard really does support a 14th gen CPU out of the box, and yes it does. And I did, it took a few hours, we are hours later. At some point I decided, okay, it's the last possible step, I will reseat the CPU. Well, the CPU is broken. I already cleaned and packed it up, and I have a few pictures taken with my phone. So you got that row of capacitors in the bottom, on the bottom side of the CPU, and well, on mine everything is broken. I have 2 of them. One is still kinda attached to the CPU, and the other one was completely loose when I removed it. And the other ones, I have no freaking clue where they are. I sincerely hope that they are not just somewhere inside of my PC right now, but the chances are pretty high that they fell out at some point. Now I will say I checked every step. I reinstalled another CPU because I purchased like the 14900, 14700 and 14600K all at once. So here we have now the 14700K. I did that off camera. And I rechecked all the steps. There is nothing coming even close to that part of the CPU. I thought maybe the cooler was somehow somewhere hitting that piece, but no, nothing is coming even close. What makes me wonder even more about this is whatever residue is on like that second layer of the IHS of the 14600K. I have no clue what that is. I checked where the thermal paste of my installation went, and that's basically left and right on those like little edge pieces that are used to keep the cooler on there, for the retention bracket, sorry, to keep the CPU in the socket, those little wings. That's where my excess thermal paste went. There was no thermal paste going out in the bottom, so that is not mine. And adding to that, it does look very dry. The thermal paste in the bottom looks like it was already on there for a week or so. If that even is thermal paste, I'm not sure. But I left it on there. I made a couple of pictures, and now I need to go through like the usual warranty service. Now I'm not going to, you know, hit the drums for, yeah, there are Intel chips out there that are broken. This can be a one-time thing, and I hope I don't read a couple of titles with 14600Ks broken all across YouTube in the next few days, but yeah, mine is dead on arrival. Sucks for me, but that's how it is. Now what I will also do is recheck all of the footage at the beginning of the video, because we have a few close-ups where I put the CPU into the socket, and I really hope that the quality or the autofocus is on the right point so that I can zoom in and maybe I will see if that thing was already broken out of the box. I'm sure it is. This is not my thermal paste. Nothing came even close to that part of the CPU, so I can guarantee that wasn't me, but I really want to know if they were already all missing when I installed it into the motherboard, because otherwise I have a few broken off capacitors that are just flying somewhere ready to shorten out things, and yeah, I don't want that to happen. Now let's get to the build. This is now a bit different from what I expected to build today. This is now the 14700K paired with a RTX 4080 and that Be Quiet Dog Elite. Now the system looks awesome, I will say that. Very black, very clean, and a bit of RGB, which you may or may not like, but that's what people do nowadays. Now for the cooling, because we are not doing any like performance benchmarks, everybody knows nowadays how a 4700 and 4080 work, but for the cooling we did a few things. First was Thermark, like 1080p all in, which got the GPU to like 57 degrees C, so that's really fine. But for the CPU in a Cinebench loop run, it was pulling 253 watts on the whole package, which, yeah, that's what the ASRock motherboard will set it to. And at that point, the CPU did hit 100 degrees C and started to thermal throttle for a few seconds until the next loop run began. It was like the last 10 seconds where that happened. It took some time to heat up, but yeah, the system does slightly thermal throttle. The 14700K seems to be getting hotter than a 13700K, which is very interesting, and we will cover that extensively in how much cooling do I need for the chip video. But they will take another few weeks to be produced. A, I require a lot of testing to do them, and B, I want to test all 3 CPUs at once, and now I don't have a 14600K, and I just hope that the warranty service of my selling platform isn't a pain in the ass, but we will see about that. Now for the build, overall look, I'm happy, clean, not a lot of, unnecessary parts. Performance, interesting. I'm shocked that the Elite does let the CPU throttle a tiny bit there. That was interesting, but that's how it is, and we will figure out how to avoid that in a dedicated video. But for the Montech build, I have to say, it was very easy to build in here. There is a lot of space in the back, and the front fans are amazing. But yeah, I think I will end this video because it took hours to produce because of this. This has never happened to me. And from this day on, I will check every CPU that gets in-house before I install it for the first time. How could I miss that? I really hope that the A-roll shots at the beginning show the dead CPU. I need that as proof, so that my seller doesn't try the you broke it during installation thing. I sincerely hope I have that on camera. But yeah, for today this is going to be it. It was an exhausting morning. But thank you for watching. And if you haven't seen the review on this bad boy, which is going to be filmed after this video but released before this video, then have a look at the review of the Montech Air 903 Max, a very budget focused case with a lot of cooling out of the box. But thank you for watching and hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.